Hey everybody, Mobile Gamers Unite here with another FTC compliant video for adults about Last Cloudia. So let's see, yesterday I woke up and I was pretty much smacked in the face with this collab. We got the Secret of Mana collab. This is it, it's here, our first limited collab to pull on. Now I've already said that there's a little bit of lackluster here for me because, I mean, obviously this is like the 5th collab with Secret of Mana that I've played through as a gacha player, but I gotta say I was very surprised and I was very happy. I gotta say the event overall is great. I enjoy the little boss fights. It's a different type of boss fight. Like, the boss is there, then he disappears for a little bit, and he gives you time to heal up. There's just a lot of different ways that you can play through it, and there's a lot of different little boss fights. I think it's great. But the big questions that I've been having about the collabs, how powerful are these characters going to be? What incentive are they going to give me to start fresh on new characters? So we're going to talk about all of that. First things first, the advice that I would give out on this collab, if you're going to go all in on it, wait till day 3. That is tomorrow. Tomorrow, everybody receives one of the Secret of Mana characters for free. You don't have to pull anything, you don't have to roll anything. They're just going to give you one of them randomly. After you figure out which one you have, then maybe you should try your luck. Maybe you don't even need anything. Personally, and you guys can leave me a comment, let me know which one you would choose, but personally, if I had to choose one of these 3 units, I would actually choose Prim. That's right, I would choose Prim, definitely. There's just a lot to her. She's a very powerful support character, and I think there's really room for a Prim on any account. Of course, a lot of people I'm sure are going to choose Randy Bobandy here. He is a top tier damager, but I personally think that if you already have one of those, I think you're all set. And last but definitely not least, we have Papoy. The verdict's still out on him. I need to get a couple of his magic spells, his single target Secret of Mana spells. I need to really see what those do. But pretty much, the first thing we're going to talk about is the incentive to power these heroes up from level 1. What incentive are they really giving us? Popoy will help me answer this. Look at the level that Popoy here is awakened to. This little dude is woke AF. Okay, he does not go to sleep. He has all 4 of his awakenings, all 4 crystals right there. That is because all of these characters start with 200 shards. So if you get any one of these characters, you're instantly going to have 200 shards to spend. You're obviously going to awaken them, and you're going to increase their skill points here. Right? I mean, my Popoy's already at 32. He's at 32 and he's fully woke. So, yeah, if I get a dupe of him tomorrow, he's gonna be able to take a lot of skills into battle. Alright? Because every dupe that you pull, you get 90 shards, not 30. So that's pretty cool, and I think all those rates are jacked up because this is a limited banner, so you're getting more shards, more incentive to build these characters up. Specifically, what I mean by that is a few days ago, at the very end of the Melza campaign, with the SR ticket I got off of that, I managed to pull Dine, and it wasn't even on Dine's banner, so I was like, oh sweet, that's awesome. I have been saving all the gems to power up a mage. I did not put all my investments into Zexus, like a lot of players did. Nothing against Zexus, he's an amazing mage, but I didn't feel like I should power him up because he's so readily available. He's all over my friends list, and I'm very thankful for that because I've used him to cheese the hell out of a lot of content. But if he's so readily available to me, then why would I work on my own? I would rather save my resources for something different like Dine here. And of course I got Dine, I worked on him for 2-3 days, and I got him to level 42. And then here comes Papoy. Here's what Dine has to compete with. Papoy already has 200 shards. Dine, he doesn't have any. Right? Oh, he has two. I have 2 Dine shards. So who's going to have higher stats to start off with right off rip? It's going to be Papoy. And obviously Dine is level 42. Papoy's only level 30. But by the end of today, Papoy will surpass him. So that's kind of the incentive that they're giving us. On the Reaper Melza event, we were getting double the experience for running Reaper Melza. For this event, they're actually letting these characters get triple the experience. So here's all of mine. Bobandy's at level 28, Prim's at level 20, and Papoy is level 31. Now my goal is to get these characters leveled up as quickly as I can so that they can run the dungeon themselves without having to have Melza carry 2 of them. Because right now that's what I'm doing. Melza is running 2 of these, Randy and Papoy, through the dungeon to level them up. Once they're to a sufficient level, Melza will be swapped out with Prim, and then they can just run the little level 40-50 boss battle, and they can get a ton of experience for that. So that is what I'm planning to do. That is why your boy pulled these on day 1. That's why I didn't wait till day 3, because I wanted to get a jump on it. I didn't know how the leveling process was going to work. And I told all of you that I was going to be paying very close attention to our first limited banner. Well, because I didn't know how they were going to do limited banners in this game. I didn't know if the characters were going to be broken or OP. All in all, though, let's talk about this event real quick. I was very, very surprised. The music's great. I feel like I've been through the Secret of Mana collab like 5 times already in other gachas. So I wasn't really expecting to be that surprised. But I gotta say, I think out of all the gachas this game has been in, I think they really found themselves a good home here on Last Cloudia. The event is absolutely great. There's obviously different maps with different bosses to fight. And these are all sweet. There's like a lich to fight. There's a big magical blob. And then obviously you unlock the boss level, which is all 3 of the bosses, one after another. We'll get into a funny story with that. I put a regen ring on Randy, and he just wouldn't die because every 6 seconds he heals 460 hit points. And everybody else got wiped but Randy, and it was just him and the Lich for like 35 minutes until I shut it off. But it was still pretty cool. Regardless, all these bosses are fun. They're different. They disappear for a little bit. There's something different than every other boss fight we've had. So I'm very happy about that. The music sounds absolutely awesome. I'll be honest with you, when I first heard it, the little flute, I thought it was like a ringtone. Like, it sounds like an old ringtone I used to have back in the day, I swear. But now I'm getting used to it. The boss music is the coolest. Secret of Mana brought us a badass boss slaying soundtrack to get down on. Very happy about that. Very happy about the content. They're fun little boss fights. Alright, so that's what I'm going to say about that. Very happy so far with this event. So let's talk about the actual gacha. What did I think? Oh, the step up's not up because I went through it. Yeah, it's not up here. They get rid of it after you're done with it. So here was my experience with our first limited step up banner. Okay? And if I would have been smart, I would have just got the $80 bundle. But I bought the $30 bundle, decided to go in there and try my luck, because if I didn't need more, I wasn't going to get more. And then I ended up getting 2 of them, and I just said, screw it, I'll just get all 3. So like I said, should have got the $80 bundle, just got the $30 bundle 3 times instead. And then when I was all done, I went through the step up completely. I got everything. I got the arcs, and I got Papoy and Prim. I did not have Randy Bobandy. And you know what, guys? At that point, I was still happy. Real talk. I was not upset about not getting Randy. Maybe a lot of it has to do with like the fact that I'm used to Randy being on every single gacha game that I play, and it's always the same system with him. He's going to get a bunch of killers. Well, in this game system, that just happens to be pretty important. Killers are a big thing in this. They cost a lot of skill points. So obviously if Randy gets a bunch of killers for free like he does in all the other gachas that he's part of, he just fits very well into the system. So we'll talk about that, what makes Randy strong. But I personally thought, hey, I got Shin. He's already got God Killer. I can slap other killers on him. Is it going to be the same exact damage? Probably not, but it'll be comparable. Really what was important to me was Prim, because she can imbue people with elements. So that's awesome. On top of that, Prim has a force field, and I think that is the biggest thing to this combat system, is if you can throw a force field up like that and buy yourself some time to heal and whatever, I think that can take you a long way, and I think that can help you get through a lot of boss thresholds. When that boss gets to 30% and he wants to drop a super nuke, Prim can be like, oh yeah, barrier. So that was my goal. I wanted to at least get Prim, and I got Popoy along the way and pulled a dupe of him, and I got the arcs, so I was happy. Your boy was happy. I went out of the gacha, and then I realized I actually still had like 4,000 crystals left, because it was only going to let me do the step up with paid crystals. And of course I had like 3,000 or 4,000 crystals that I grinded out, and without even thinking about it, I just said, oh, let's go all in. I did a 10 pull after that, so I cleared the step up banner, and then I did 110 pull, and Randy came down on that 110 pull, right? So back to my original advice, if you're going to go in on this banner, wait till tomorrow, wait till you get your free unit, and then, kind of plan what you're going to do. You might not need some of these characters. That's just my personal advice. Or if you want to collect all of them, I would still wait till you get one of them for free, and maybe you can just pull the other two without having to pull dupes. That's the best advice I can give. But your boy had to jump in face first and get on the grind right away, because I do have plans for these characters. I need to evaluate them. I need to evaluate the progress that they make and really figure out the incentive that this game company is giving us to get brand new characters and to power them up from level 1. That's really what I'm paying attention to right now. So I've told you guys what I'm going to be doing in this account with these limited units, how I'm going to be grinding them out, and here they are. Bo Bandy's at level 28, Prim's at level 20, and Popoy is level 31, right? So I guess we can start with Randy, right? A lot of people are going to want Randy. He's a very powerful top-tier frontline attacker. Personally, his basic attack was a little lackluster to me, and it's because I'm used to using Shin. And, I mean, when Shin uses his basic attacks, it feels like he's cutting a goddamn tree down with a samurai sword. Just the sound effect, the impact is just there. Randy's sword swing has got a little more of a limp wrist to it. I don't know, that's all I'm saying. But Randy does not need that basic attack, because he's going to be doing a lot of damage with his skills. Where are these traits? Abilities. Now, I still have 2 of them to get, but I have played around with Randy, and he's been on my friends list, so I feel comfortable about talking about him, even though he's only level 28. All of these abilities have a killer attached to them. Full Moon Slice is effective against undead, so this ability has undead killer in it. The other one's effective against creatures, and I think one of them is effective against stone. On top of that, what he gets in his ability kit that he gets to unlock, this is what really makes him a powerful character. He gets impact right off rip. There's impact, you don't have to pay for it. Any frontline attacker is going to want impact in their kit, so he already comes with it. So there's a couple points you save right there. Then he has creature killer, stone killer, and undead killer. No, that's Mana Tribe. Undead killer. That's 12 points worth of killers right there already built into his kit. That's very useful. So he's going to be very powerful against those elements. Well, those types, right? Creatures, undead, and stone. And then obviously his last attack, his super skill, Torpedo Slash. This is important. This is going to do extra damage to fish, and it's just going to do a shit ton of damage regardless. Because what really sets this guy apart, what really puts the icing on the cake, other than the fact that you don't have to pay for a lot of these killer abilities and impact, he has a special ability, Hero of the Holy Sword. Sword is... This only works with a sword. You have to have a sword equipped. Use 10% of your max magic points, and it gives you 20% more special damage. So you're going to use 10% of your MP, you're going to get 20% more damage. This turns his Torpedo Slash into a very powerful attack. It's just ridiculous how much damage it does. I've been blown away by it. I mean, the guy's level 28, and I'm seeing him hit for thousands. It's pretty cool, right? And then obviously his other abilities like Full Moon Slash. This one attacks in a small area, effective against undead. He does get to hit a couple people around him. His other ability, he starts doing this whirlwind thing all across the map. He has a good range with his ability, so he's going to be able to do AoE damage very effectively. So that goes a long way. And then he has, obviously, all the killers built in. He has impact built in. And then when you finally drop Torpedo Slash, you're going to use his magic points to do more damage with his skill. That's very important. Alright, there's also a Secret of Mana arc that gives you plus 50% more to your skill damage. So you put that on Randy, he's just doing a ton of damage. But you know, the other thing is too, like Shin has God Killer. God Killer costs 5 skill points instead of 4, so it's a little bit more useful of a killer. We do fight a lot of gods. So I look at Randy as like the all of the above killer. He's going to have a killer against fish. He's going to have a killer against undead and stone. So you're always going to be getting some sort of killer bonus from him no matter what. And at the end of the day, he tops that off with the Hero of the Holy Sword ability. Now the downside to this is, obviously, you're going to want to leave Randy Bobandy's mana pool untapped. You're going to want to save all of your mana for Hero of the Holy Sword so he can keep dropping this. So, you know, maybe you could put a debuff on Randy or something that he could throw, but I wouldn't trust the AI with it. They would throw the hell out of it and drain his MP, and then he wouldn't be able to get to do all that awesome damage. So that's what I think about Randy, and that's why I wasn't really too worried about getting him. I have Shin, and I have a lot invested into Shin already. So I was perfectly cool with running Shin, as long as Prim was there with Shin to imbue him with whatever element I so wanted. This is really what I wanted out of this banner. I wanted Prim. Very happy I got her. First thing about Prim is she automatically starts with speed and haste. That's very useful. It's very fun. She's going to take the fight to the enemies before they take it to her. She's going to start off rip, and she's just going to jet across the screen, and boom, she's going to hit them up. Prim is amazing because of Lucid Barrier. I'm gonna stop and say right now, all of these characters have very powerful super skills, and they're automatically going to be awakened to a certain degree because they start off with 200 shards apiece. You know, and the thing I'll say about Lucid Barrier is this thing charges up fast. You're going to be able to use this thing a lot. Very useful for stopping a boss at a threshold so he doesn't just wipe your party. Yeah, it puts a barrier up. Enough said. That's very, very important. On top of that, this girl is kind of like, you know, she's halfway healer, halfway support. She has revive in her kit, which is very important. That's awesome. She gets to bring revive. You don't have to pay for that. And of course, she has an ability that lets her imbues last longer. All of her supports last 15% longer, or whatever it is. The point is, she has all of these abilities that will let her imbue your basic attack with whatever element she wants. That's haste. She's going to get haste. This is the spirit usage I was talking about. Duration of buffs applied to unit 10%, plus 10%, and that goes up obviously to 20% right here. Where are her imbues? You should have a bunch of them right here. Here's... Okay, that's just a fire spell. Ice Saber, here we go. Ice attribute additional attack to a single ally's regular attacks. So she's going to imbue one of your allies, whichever one you want, or both of your allies. You know, she just has to do them one at a time, but she's going to imbue them with an element. You're obviously going to choose an element that your enemy's weak against. That is really where these characters shine. They're bringing a lot of elemental warfare to this game right now, and they're going to give you a bunch of options to do like that. Other than that, as far as her kit, her skills that she has, Triple Strike's kind of basic. The one that I was impressed with was Wave Bullet because it is piercing. It can hit a lot of enemies with the shockwave, so this thing is pretty cool. I like using this one, right? But in a nutshell, that's what this girl's going to do, and that is a ton. She's already bringing a lot to the table. From, you know, just being able to imbue and resurrect and support like that. And on top of that, put up a force field that she gets all the time. That's really going to help you with bosses and thresholds. She takes the cake just for that. And other than that, all you got to do is just put healing magic on her. And that's what I would use her for. I would use her MP to throw heals and to throw buffs and to throw up barriers. Bam. Alright, and whatever damage she can supplement with these abilities that she gets, more power to her. And last but definitely not least is Popoi. I've been holding out on judging this guy, and the reason for that is because I want to see what his special magic is that he gets. One in particular that I'm very interested in is Energy Absorb. This is an ice attack against a single enemy, absorbs hit points equal to 20% of the damage. So he can heal himself with this. 20% of the damage. This guy's going to be doing a lot of damage, right? And the reason Popoi is very interesting to me is because I think we have a potential very powerful single target mage. Why would anybody want a single target mage when Blizzard is so powerful and Galaxy is so powerful? It is right now when I'm using a level 80 Zexus to run through a level and I just want him to throw up Blizzard every turn and wipe everything. But I can already see that in later game content, when you throw up something like Blizzard, you might actually be hurting your damage. Because as soon as Blizzard kicks in, the enemy's getting hit with Blizzard and nothing else. So whatever other attacks you had in the works, those are just null and void now, right? So if I had Reaper Melza there and she was halfway through one of her combos and Blizzard came up, half of Melza's combo would be wasted because Blizzard moves the enemy. So does what is it, Galaxy? It moves the enemy around a little bit, and then after it's done doing damage, they're slightly moved. That's going to mess up your other heroes that are trying to get their attacks in on that enemy. A lot of times they just have to start from scratch at that point, and whatever attacks they were in the middle of doing, those are wasted. The best way to get around this with the mage is obviously do single target spells. And Popoi already has a couple of them that have been doing substantial damage. Even the spells that he starts with. One of his Fireball, right here. He starts with Fireball. Fireball is surprisingly effective, especially when you're running with Reaper Melza and she's throwing Weaken on everybody and getting their elemental resistances down. So I will keep you guys posted on Popoi, but so far so good. The fact of the matter is, he's way more woke than any other mage that I could have right now. So I have Dyne at level 43, but that's not going to matter pretty soon because Popoi is going to be level 40, and he's also going to be fully woked out. So he's just going to have higher stats, and of course I can put Crimson Flare on him or whatever I want. Really, he has some really cool synergy, though, with his abilities. If we look at his traits, he has Glutton, which is very important. Every time he kills somebody, he's going to recover 3% of his MP. That goes up to 8, and then I think like 12% of his MP. So he's going to be able to keep himself fed, and he's going to be able to make it to the boss fight with pretty much a full MP bar. That's very important for him. And then Fairy Tribe. When using attacks of an attribute an enemy is weak against, damage plus 10%. And of course that goes up as you level it up. So what does that mean? That means that all of his attacks in his kit are of a different element. Air Blast is earth attack. Freeze is obviously ice. He has a T3 right here that is fire. And then of course his super skill is Dark Force, which does a shit ton of dark damage. So obviously what Popoi is going to do is say, okay, this guy is weak to ice. I'm going to start throwing freeze at him. And freeze is going to do, 10-20% more damage because of the Fairy Tribe trait that he has. So that goes a long way. That helps him a lot. These abilities are great. They do good damage. All in all, he's a very powerful character, and Dark Force just does a shit ton. It's crazy how much it does. So as far as magic, I need to unlock the rest of his magic before I can really be the judge of how powerful this guy is. But I'm looking at things like Energy Absorb. This does ice damage, and it heals him for 20% of it. That's a pretty big deal right there. This guy can keep himself healed while doing damage at the same time. So I'm really going to have to see what you can do with this guy. And last but not least, his basic attack is actually special. He throws his boomerang. Every time he throws it, it goes through everybody and comes back. So it can hit everybody in front of him twice. That's very nifty. All in all, that boomerang throw isn't going to win you any fights, but it does help to add to his damage. A lot of other mages, they'll throw some kind of little frost bolt or something. It'll hit an enemy and it'll do 25 damage. Popoi can actually supplement his magical damage with his boomerang throw. I think that shouldn't be overlooked. All in all, he's a very nifty little character. He's very cool. The only issue I've seen with him is he's so little he disappears on the map. I can't find him sometimes. So this is what I think of these characters so far. I've had them for a day. I wanted to put something out for you guys so you at least had an idea of how these characters work. Of course, I'm going to be running the hell out of this event and seeing what kind of progress I can make from scratch. Again, the goal right now is to get 2 of them powered up and then take Melza out of the party and swap Melza out for Prim, and then have these 3 run this event from beginning to end, and obviously get the ×3 experience out of it, and to see what level I can get these guys to. See, I think Bobandy here has already been enhanced once. That's right. So 4 days ago, I started running the level to get their the level 55 level to get their awakening materials. I personally think I've had some pretty good luck with it. I've heard of some horror stories, pretty much like the tier 5 awakening items, like the dragon eyes or tears or whatever they're called. Some people have had really bad luck getting those, and I can relate because of my whole coagulated salt water thing that I went through. So I did, let's see, is that level even up today? No, it's not. No, the level 55 one. Regardless, I've had pretty good luck so far. I'll show you guys the mats that I managed to get. Sacred Gems, I got a couple of these. Otherworldly Matter. So all of these 5-star mats I just got. I'm one of the larger hand of time short from taking Robin to his max level. His max level cap. And with these items that I have, I also have Shin. Shin is fully enhanced. Bam, there he is. 3 stars. So Shin can go up to 80. I'm fairly happy with that, right? But now I have to grind out the rest of these materials to work on these characters. Let's see. Boy. Okay. See, that's not bad. Because in 10 levels, Papoy's going to have to be enhanced up. Prim, yeah, I can work on you too. But really, those 5-star materials is what I'm worried about. I think Randy here actually, yeah, he's going to share the Dragon Eye with Shin. But Shin's already done, so all I have to do is grind out 2 of these Dragon Eyes, and I can get Bo Bandy here to the level 80 threshold. I'm going to be doing that. So all in all, this is what your boy's been up to. It's been pretty busy and hectic. I've also had internet problems, so it's just been really crazy. But I managed to pull through. I wanted to get this out there for anybody that's thinking about pulling on this banner, for going all in. Again, word to the wise, wait till day 3. It's only tomorrow away. You'll get one of these characters for free. Then you can kind of evaluate where you're at, what you want, what you need, what you don't need. Hey, maybe that's the only character that you actually really need, and you really don't care about this collab that much because you've played through this collab 5 other times on different gachas. Or maybe you're a diehard fan of this collab and you want all these characters. Either way, I would get the first character for free and then just see how your luck goes. But, hey, what are you going to do? You're going to do what you want to do. If you want to pull on this banner, go ham, buddy. Go ham. They're going to give you tons of the character crystals to power these characters up. And tomorrow, if you get a dupe like me, well, that's going to be 90 shards to put on one of these characters. So, all in all, I'm going to keep you guys posted. I will let you know how the grind goes. But all in all, so far, this event has been awesome. This is the funnest Secret of Mana collab that I've played. And I have been through this collab like 5 times now through different gacha games. So all in all, I think it was a success, right? Like, this wasn't boring for me, even though I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, I kind of expected it to be boring for me. But as soon as I actually started doing the boss fights, you know, it did bring back a little bit of nostalgia and then a lot of fun. So I suggest everybody give this a fair try. The event is great. Go have fun slaying the boss. Tomorrow you will be blessed with one of these amazing characters regardless of what you pull and what you don't. So everybody enjoy the awesome Secret of Mana collab. I know I sure am, and I'm very pleasantly surprised to say that. If you guys got any comments or anything to add, that's why my comments are open. So I will talk to everybody soon, and I'm always out here, guys. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. If I missed anything, please correct me. And everybody have an awesome day. Peace.